staying with us. Customs sees consignment worth billions of naira at Tinkan Island Port. Also on Customs reports, the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to implement all rules as approved by the federal government alongside foreign rules that will also help the nations to grow. Plus, more report. I am Egeseme Etinye. Stay tuned. The custom management has continued to implement laws that will improve the nation's economy and also make the nation's economy to grow. They suggested that stakeholders should enable the Nigerian Customs Service to implement laws that will create more revenue for the country. This speaks more on a number of issues.
Nigerian Customs, Royal Malaysian Customs deepen ties to boost trade facilitation and border security. Drawing from the commitment to strengthening international customs cooperation and enhance trade facilitation, the Nigerian Customs Service has advanced its strategic engagements with the Royal Malaysian Customs Department (RMCD). This followed an official visit by the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, to the RMCD headquarters on the sidelines of his participation at DSA Malaysia. The engagement comes against the backdrop of expanding bilateral trade, with Nigeria's imports from Malaysia increasing from 159.9 billion naira to 716 billion naira, and cumulative trade value reaching approximately 1.82 trillion naira over a 5-year period.
The World Customs Organization, which I have the honor to chair, has provided a lot of opportunities for this kind of collaboration, this kind of experience sharing, so that we can learn from what each customs administration do to mitigate and address the issues. And of course, more importantly, WCO, the World Customs Organization, also present opportunity for collaboration between the customs and the private sector. So in all of this, 3 things run through them. The first is the fact that it allows us to use better use of technology to fight all this crime. The second is that it allows, it promotes collaboration between all the different customs private sector, customs of police, customs.
The Comptroller General was received by the Director General of the Royal Malaysian Customs Department, Dato Haji Amran bin Haji Ahmad, whose appointment reflects a strong reform-oriented leadership in enforcement and regulatory administration. Both leaders held high-level discussions focused on institutional collaboration, customs modernization, and coordinated border management frameworks to strengthen efficiency and regulatory integrity.
The Customs Controller General has continued to receive awards from institutions all over the world. He was bestowed with an award of fellowship by NIJ in Lagos. Recently, one of the controller who was also at the event has this to say on how the nations will grow with the operation of the award.
The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, received a fellowship award from the Nigerian Institute of Journalism in recognition of his professional achievements and contributions to national development. A special convocation ceremony was held to mark the investiture, underscoring the significance of the honor. Perhaps it could have happened for less. Obviously, for a man of letters, a public relations expert, a communicator par excellence, an indefatigable administrator, and a mobile communication encyclopedia all rolled into one.
I felt so high as a custom officer because of the caliber of people on seat. During the presentation of that fellowship award to my CGC, because I will call him my CG. I refer to him as my CG. That's Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi. MFR, PhD, DSM, FNIPR, PSC, DAGA, now FNIJ, which was added to him on the 25th of April. On the 15th of April, rather. 15th of April. 15th of April. It was a Wednesday. The first time a custom officer will be awarded with such a very high fellowship award. Because the institute itself was established in 1963, if I'm not mistaken, by the Press Institute to provide specialized media education. And it went into full operation in the year 1971. The institute, as it was then, was meant to just train some journalists, but the turnout of the institute, which Bashir Adewale Adeniyi was part of it, is start taking a new dimension now. Because so far they have 13 fellows, which our commander-in-chief, the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a fellow himself. So I feel so proud as a custom officer that my own CG is joining the group. If I can mention some of the big men who are board of the NIJ Governing Council, we have the likes of Segun Oshoba, Mohammed Goje, Danjuma Goje, Dapo Olorunyomi, Boni Haruna, Saka Shintin, Adebutu, Mr. Gbenga Adefaye, then Honorable Abike Dabire, to mention just a few. They are fellows. Then my CG now join them. It's a good one for the customs, because he is the first, like Baba Oshoba said that day, he is the first ex-student to get an award as a fellow of the institute. So it makes me proud, and every custom officer should be very proud of that, that our own is a member of that great institute. So it's a good one for customs. And they said, according to Baba Oshoba, when they were selecting, say, does this man worth it to take the fellowship award? They all agree unanimously at this man, because Uncle Epu, in his article, I read it, he called him a man with Midas touch. And I believe.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
The Nigerian Customs Service has reinforced its commitments to combating illicit financial flows and terrorism financing through a sensitization program on anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism, AML/CFT, held at its headquarters in Maitama, Abuja. The engagement formed part of the service's first quarter operational review meeting and training for officers of the AML/CFT units, focusing on enhancing capacity, promoting ethical standards, and strengthening inter-agency collaboration. Speaking during the session, the Assistant Controller General in charge of headquarters, ACG Mohammed Shuaibu, said the initiative reflects the growing importance of AML/CFT operations within the service and Nigeria's broader financial and security framework. He noted that the impact of the unit extends beyond seaports, airports, and border stations, adding that its achievements over the past year have positioned it as a critical component in safeguarding the nation's financial system.
Beyond beyond all the boundaries. If you look at it, we are looking at it not only in the seaports, only in the airports, but we are looking at it beyond that. Both the seaports and then the border stations could also achieve what we are talking about. Because money laundering cut across everywhere. And if you look at the successes recorded by this unit in the past 1.5 years or hereabout, I think everybody would be happy to be reckoned with this unit. Because formerly, Nigeria as a whole, not customs, Nigeria, were in grey list. And today we are out of that grey list. You can travel with only your card from here if it's MasterCard. Your own bank is the first bank, either UBA, either any of the Nigerian banks. You can travel abroad with it and you now make use of it. You can get that country's currency. Me, I have tested that. I travel to some certain countries with my only MasterCard of different banks. You slot it into their ATM machine, it will give you the country's currency while you don't have it at start. It's Naira we have, you give it to them, they will give you either dollar, euro, or the country's currency. So you can imagine the feat we have achieved today. And as a result of this, Nigeria is a happy nation and the league of other nations that today they can go to anywhere without holding cash, without holding anything, and they could just make use of their cards. So I think it's a kudos to the service and a plus to the unit itself. So I think one other person that has stood single-handedly that period to do this, our former DCG, who was our ACG headquarters, in conjunction with this officer you see here, I think they stood their feet to see that Nigeria comes out of that. If you now bring any file to the CGC concerning AML, I think it doesn't take him a minute to approve whatever we're asking for. I think it's a plus to them.
The controller of Tinkani in Apapa has again intercepted drugs worth over billions of naira from smugglers operating at the port. He has this to say.
In pursuance of the agenda of the Comptroller General of Customs, the Tinkan Island Port Command of the Nigerian Customs Service, under the leadership of Comptroller Frank Onyeka, has made significant operational breakthrough in collaboration with its strategic partner, the NDLEA, which has resulted in the seizures of 185 jumbo bags of cannabis indica. Comptroller Frank Onyeka, who highlighted the significant achievements of the command, also announced that following credible intelligence and sustained inter-agency cooperation, officers of the command, working jointly with personnel of the NDLEA, conducted a 100% physical examination on a container with container number HAMU 429966/1, which had been red flagged from intelligence gathered. Official report from Customs said the container, which originated from Canada, was initially declared to contain only used vehicles, but upon thorough examination, it was discovered to contain 185 jumbo bags of cannabis indica, concealed with one used Toyota Camry and one used Chevrolet Colorado. Further examination revealed that the seized cannabis indica comprised 9,458 packages with a total weight of 4,729 kilograms at the estimated street value of 18,916,000,000 naira.
We formally hand over these illicit drugs to National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for further investigation and prosecution in line with their statutory mandatory authority. This achievement in particular signifies our strength, especially coming shortly after this historic agreement between the Nigerian Customs Service and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, which took place on the 27th of April 2026 at the headquarters of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, with the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, and Controller General of Customs Bashir Adwale Adeniyi, MFR, PhD, PSC Daga. As part of our standard operating procedure of the agreement, both agencies are to follow on strengthening interagency collaboration through regular engagements, structured intelligence gathering and sharing, and develop a coordinated operational guideline to ensure seamless collaboration. Additionally, the agreement establishes that the headquarters of this standing interagency committee is to be domiciled at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency headquarters in Abuja. Let me seize this opportunity to express our profound appreciation to the Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, PSC Daga, PhD, for his visionary leadership and unwavering support in strengthening operational capacity and interagency collaboration. We also extend our profound gratitude to the leadership and personnel of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for their cooperation, professionalism, and dedication to strengthening our nation from menace of illicit drugs. To our critical stakeholders, including port users, port operators, security agencies, and members of the media, we thank you for your continuous support and partnership. Your role in information dissemination and public awareness is invaluable. The Tin Can Island Port Command remains resolute in its commitment to intensifying synergy with all relevant agencies to secure our borders and ports. We will continue to deploy intelligence-driven strategies and robust enforcement measures to combat smuggling and illicit trade. Let me also sound a clear note of warning to all smugglers and criminals that the Nigerian Customs Service, in collaboration with its partners, is fully prepared and determined to detect, intercept, and prosecute all forms of illegal activities. There will be no safe haven for saboteurs.
Besides, he said this significant seizure demonstrates the vigilance, professionalism, and dedication of officers and affirms the strength of the collaboration with sister agencies.
We now bring you some of the seizures by some commands in the country.
The Nigerian Customs Service, a Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Ikeja, has uncovered a sweeping network of smuggling and illicit trade, intercepting cocaine valued at 2.35 billion naira, alongside 15 trailer loads of foreign rice and a wide range of contraband across the southwest. Speaking during a press briefing in Lagos on Tuesday, the comptroller of the unit, Comptroller Gambo Aliyu, revealed that the seizures were made over an 8-week period, underscoring intensified enforcement efforts. According to him, operatives foiled 473 smuggling attempts within the period, leading to the confiscation of 8,794 bags of 50-kilogram foreign rice, 22 used vehicles, 328 bales of used clothing, and 31,705 liters of premium motor spirits. Other seized items include a Mercedes-Benz vehicle and various food products such as poultry, vegetable oil, spaghetti, and sugar. Aliyu clarified that the rice displayed at the briefing represented cumulative interceptions made at different locations and times across the zone.
The unit, leveraging on advanced surveillance, intelligence sharing frameworks, and interagency collaboration, thwarted 473 smuggling attempts within 8 weeks of our operations, resulting in seizures of the following items, like you can see them. And the items include and as follows. A. Rice. 8,794 bags of 50 kg, which is equivalent to 15 trailer loads of rice. B. Used vehicles, ordinarily called Tokumbo, 22 units of such. 1,000 863 pieces of used refrigerator compressors, which constitute an environmental hazard. Used clothing, 328 bales, 1,188 25 liters each of vegetable oil. Premium motor spirit, 31,705 liters. Used tires, we have 485 pieces. Spaghetti, we have 69 cartons. We have 24 bags of 50 kg each of foreign sugar and 5 cartons of St. Louis sugar. We have 531 cartons of foreign poultry products. We have 4 cylinders of liquid chemicals, mercury precisely, each weighing 80 kilograms. In the same vein, the unit reinforces anti-smuggling strategies to continuously cut supply chain networks in drug trafficking with the launch of an operation codenamed Operation Hawk. This is aimed at curbing illicit goods trafficking, safeguarding revenue and protecting our society and environment from incidences of crime, criminality, and pervasive societal vices that threaten national stability. Against this backdrop, the unit successfully took out 3,340 parcels of synthetic strain of cannabis indica, Ghana Loud, weighing 1,540 kilograms from the society. This singular effort is an affirmation of our commitment in the fight against drug smuggling syndicates in the zone. Our analysis of the trend in recent times indicate that the traffickers are devising different methods to perpetrate the illegal trade. Therefore, there is need for critical security stakeholders to upscale their intelligence sharing mechanism to cut the supply chain completely.
Today, as the SD is being formally handed over to NDLA, Lagos State Strategic Command, in the presence of officers of both agencies, with seal intact and document duly signed, NDLA shall commence detailed investigation to unmask the cartel and financier and track the source where this beat is coming from, and prosecute all those found culpable in accordance with the NDLA Act Cap N30, Law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004.
Adeniyi pledges deeper impact as Customs, Yakubu Gowon University renews strategic alliance. The Comptroller General of Customs, second take. The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, has pledged to revitalize long-standing institutional relationship between the Nigerian Customs Service and Yakubu Gowon University, formerly University of Abuja, with renewed support aimed at improving learning, research, and student development. CGC Adeniyi made the commitment at the Customs Headquarters, Maitama, Abuja, on Tuesday, 5th May 2026, while receiving the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Hakeem Fawehinmi, who led the institution's principal officers on a courtesy visit. Speaking during the engagement, the Comptroller General recalled his long-standing institutional relationship with the university, noting that efforts to establish a formal partnership between the two institutions date back several years. CGC Adeniyi said that despite the delay, the service had maintained its support for the institution over the years through... CGC Adeniyi said that despite the delay, the service had maintained its support for the institution over the years through strategic interventions. He assured the university management that the service would carefully examine the new areas of collaboration presented during the visit, with emphasis on projects capable of delivering meaningful impact. CGC Adeniyi said that the service was ready to work with the university through a phased implementation model as needed, stressing further the importance of having a university in the nation's capital that reflects the status and identity of the Federal Capital Territory. Earlier, Professor Hakeem Afawimi commended the leadership of the Comptroller General and the contributions of the Nigerian Customs Service to national development, describing the service as one of the institutions supporting the federal government's economic and governance reforms. According to him, he said, and I quote, "We have come with the highest level of leadership of the university to congratulate you and appreciate the tremendous work being done by the Nigerian Customs Service under your leadership." End of quotes. The Vice-Chancellor said the visit was also aimed at exploring areas of strategic partnership between the two institutions, noting that the university, with undergraduate student population of nearly 40,000, faces growing operational and infrastructural demands. He said, and I quote, "As the only conventional public university in the Federal Capital Territory, we face enormous responsibilities. Supported areas such as mass transit buses, ICT infrastructure, research facilities, and professional collaboration will significantly strengthen our capacity." He also identified the University Center for Defense and Migration Studies as a potential area of partnership with the Nigerian Customs Service in border management, migration studies, executive training, and national security research.
Just before this week's edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Nigerian Customs Service sees drugs worth over billions of naira from Tinkan Customs Command. For me, Igiseme Itinye, thanks for watching.